Good evening, I'm Brian Reagan. This is
Tyler Kelly.
We welcome you to Psalm 95 on our Twilight Talks.
Oh, come, let us sing to the Lord. Let us shout joyfully to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before his presence with thanksgiving. Let us shout joyfully to him with psalms. For the Lord is the great God and the great King above all gods. In his hands are the deep places of the earth. The heights of the hills are his also. The sea is his, for he made it, and his hands formed the dry land. O come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker, for he is our God, and we are the people of his pasture, and the sheep of his hand. Today, if you will hear his voice, do not harden your hearts, as in the rebellion, as in the day of trial in the wilderness. When your fathers tested me, they tried me, though they saw my work. For 40 years I was grieved with that generation, and said, it is a people who go astray in their hearts, and they do not know my ways. So I swore in my wrath, they shall not enter my rest.
All right. Do you know what New Testament book this psalm is referenced in?
No.
The book of Thaddeus, the book of Jude, or the book of Hebrews?
Hebrews?
Hebrews, yes, because the book of Thaddeus is not a biblical book. All right. This psalm is referenced directly, indirectly, whichever way you want to look at it, 3 times. 3 times this passage is quoted, this last part. 3 times in the book of Hebrews. Point being, the same God who was pleading then for them to not harden their heart is the same God who pleads now. Do not harden your heart. He waited with them. He pled with them. He tried to work with them, and they grieved him for 40 years. Their children and grandchildren went into the land of promise. They didn't. But God kept saying, don't harden your heart. Do what I say. Do what I say. Say what I say. Do what I say. Think what I think. That's God's goal. You know? And they would not. And so what the psalmist says there, come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker, for he is our God. We are the people of his pasture and the sheep of his hand. Good thing to keep in mind. Kneel before him and remember, you're in his hand. He's claimed you, and you need to learn how to behave and take comfort in that. Do you have some other thoughts on this?
No, sir.
With that, I'm Brian Reagan. This is
Tyler Kelly.
And we bid you good evening.